Cheddar go no, Cheddar go flow, Cheddar go no. See, we are still the Brazilians. Even without the man, we are not going anywhere. I'm not like Shay. This is the best sporting show. It's sports. It's New Season Sport. And my name is Iladeja Adebowale. And I have with me the man that I've been missing so much for his predictions and his analysis. Oluwaseyi. We took him out of. Good thanks to Madam for releasing Sheyi tonight. For us to talk about the World Cup and a little bit of basketball. This is New Sisters Sports, airing, of course, on our Band Radio Scope, on our YouTube channel, on Facebook Live, on Twitch as well. And you can hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is that you want to hear us, we are there. Whatever you can think of, we are there live. And you can make your comments, pass your comment to what we're saying, who you think is going to be winning the World Cup and whatnot. Shay, you want to introduce yourself to the fans at home?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Sunday edition of our show. And I'm very sure everyone is enjoying the World Cup saga. Quite a lot of upsets for the last week. Talking about Saudi Arabia's upset, Japan's upset. I would also like to say
Morocco, Tunisia.
Fantastic game of football in Qatar. So far, so good. Like we always say, football always wins.
Yeah, and football is winning right now. And for anybody that cares to listen, Sheyi has officially jumped ship from Germany to France. I see he's donning a French jersey today, and he's no longer with the Germans because the Germans are wobbling and fobbling at the World Cup. But Sheyi, we're going to start with boxing, and I think pretty much not so much events in the boxing world, but Dillian Whyte did have a fight last night. Came out victorious by slight margin, according to you. And Dillian Whyte, by virtue of this win, could be facing Anthony Joshua sometime very soon. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, it was a good night. Let me say for Anthony
for Dillian Whyte.
And White, just because he won the fight, but that wasn't it wasn't a story. Because Jermaine Franklin actually came to the party, and for the first 2 or 3 rounds, Jermaine Franklin actually took control of the entire bout with perfect combinations. And every time it was pegged ropes, he was able to land counter jabs against Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte had to pick up himself around about 4th round to win the next 4 rounds on the night by really dominating the bout, pushing Jermaine Franklin towards the corners of the ring, and really exploding with several shots on the body. But Jermaine Franklin also came back at the later part of the bout to take some rounds. In fact, towards the 12th round, he was scored unofficially by some of the judges.
Taking the round.
Some of the people watching as a draw, and the last round, which was the 12th round, was actually a decider for both boxers. Mm-hmm. Fortunately for Dillian Whyte, was able to dominate the 12th round, and he almost even got a knockdown in the 12th round. Had it been one of his jabs, had it been, he was able to land it in the middle of the ring. Obviously, Jermaine Franklin supposed to have gone down at that moment, but he was lucky that there was ropes behind him, and the rope was able to able to hold him from falling, and that's the reason why Dillian Whyte didn't really
Get
scored
a
in
knockout.
about. So for me, I think it was quite close. It was actually that 12th round that really uh,
Change.
separated the two fighters. One of the judges called it a draw. Actually,
Oh
uh,
wow.
that yes, the two other judges scored a 116, 112 for Dylan White, making him the unanimous winner on the night. But I think it was quite flat on the night. Jermaine Franklin looked a more dangerous boxer on the
For the
night.
night.
I'm concerned, and I think Dylan White probably took Jermaine Franklin for granted. That is
Mm.
I could see. The guy is kind of young.
Yeah, I heard it's his first loss as well.
Yes, his first loss and also his first time to come out of US to come and fight.
Oh, wow.
So, and that kind of, for me, that kind of performance for Jermaine Franklin, I think he has something better going for him in the future with that kind of performance in front, for goodness sake, in the UK, in
In the
front
UK, yeah, in
of
front
a
of
crowd.
opposite crowd, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't intimidated at all by the name, by the old crowds
Yeah,
and all the everything that comes with it. So for me,
yeah.
I think Franklin going forward is going to have a
He's, he's,
fantastic.
he's, a, he's a guy that we should look out for.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yes.
and is it possible we're going to be seeing the Anthony Joshua and the White fight anytime soon?
Yes, that's possible, but of course, when it comes to boxing, you have to leave it to the likes of Eddie Hearn, the promoter. It happens to be the promoter of Dillian White and Anthony
Anthony
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah, and I think if perchance Anthony Joshua is finding it hard to get a possible fight in the next 3 to 4 months, there's
Mm-hmm.
possibility of him facing Dillian White.
The
But at the,
White.
but at the moment, Anthony Joshua is not really keen on fighting Dillian White. But if that happens, obviously, as far as I'm concerned, I think we'll be seeing one result. It has to be Anthony Joshua winning.
Anthony Joshua. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Anthony Joshua is not that bad. It's not that
Yeah.
bad. Not to get a knockout against the White. Anyways, moving forward, I know we've in the past couple of weeks be very thrown subtle jab at the Lakers and the Nets, and for some strange reason now they're looking good. At first, LeBron was injured. Now LeBron is back. They are picking up. Even while LeBron was off, they did have four straight victories. Gradually, they are coming back right now. The next two, they are getting their acts back together. With Kyrie Irving coming back into the team, O'Neal and Ben Simmons that has been criticized so often that he cannot shoot. He has been showing, getting the hoops as well. So good one for both teams, and they gradually come up on the table and get themselves off the lagging stack. I think that was about it for other sports right now. And like I said, it's the World Cup fiesta, and World Cup is what should be our main focus and what we should be discussing. I want to start with the surprise of the day, the first surprise of the day that we had, which was Japan against Costa Rica. Um, Costa Rica were coming off the heels of a 7-0 drubbing by Spain. So they were low on confidence. Even going into this match, watching the match, it wasn't that they were high on confidence. That was their first shot on target, the goal they scored um, by Spence, and it wasn't the best goal, if you ask me. It was
Yeah.
more or less like intelligence and the deficiencies of the Japanese goalkeeper. I'm pretty sure if he was taller, maybe someone as tall as Courtois, that would have been a goal. Would have been a comfortable save for him. Japan have put themselves into a hole right now. Shay, were you surprised with what happened with the Japanese?
Yeah, I'm going to say that I'm quite surprised. Coming off a good win against the Germans,
Yeah,
and Germans are actually struggling in this competition, but I think they also put themselves in that position.
it's that was yeah,
That's a discussion for, of course, for another discussion
yeah,
completely. But I think the Japanese played quite well in the first game. They were lucky not to concede several goals against the Germans. But the point is, whenever they go forward, they always look like they are going to score. And they did that quite well against Germany. They got 2 goals. They had 3 points. They
yeah.
were supposed to just, consolidate
Teammates, yeah,
or they to win, either win or the worst case scenario, not lose, and have like 4 points to see to save themselves from the pressure they are in right
they're
now.
in right now, exactly.
Round up. But I think the Costa Ricans also felt like we have lost to Spain. Obviously, this is Spain. This is one of the
Yeah,
big names in football, in world football. This is Japan. We are as good as Japan, even though they beat Germany. If we're able to get something out of this game, we might still have a chance of or to save face in this particular competition. So they were in that game to just play not to lose, really.
exactly,
The opportunity fell to them. They took it. But I have to say, it was actually given to them by the Japanese goalkeeper. Talking
exactly.
from goalkeeper perspective,
Perspective, yeah,
I think the goalkeeper actually took his leap early. He didn't really read the particular shot because there
yeah,
was a little bit of deflection
yeah,
in the shot.
exactly.
He took his leap before the first deflection, and that robbed him of the chance of saving
Or
that shot.
saving that particular goal, go.
Luckily for the Japanese team, that goal came in quite late. I think if that goal came in earlier,
Earlier,
they
they
could
could have
have
saved something of the game.
got service something from that particular game because I think they are actually way better than the Costa Rican. But it was quite unlucky for them that they conceded at the time they conceded. At that point, also, I think the Costa Ricans uh, just kind of, if you have a one lead at this point, all you have
Yeah,
to
just
do
cement it and ensure that you defend deep, and they did that very well.
it perfectly, and they got the 3 points uh, they wanted. Even though I don't really think they deserve it, but
But they,
obviously, if you get one goal in
uh-huh,
a game and your opponent can't score, I think
you
one way or the
deserve it. And thanks to them, thanks to God Almighty, they have Kelo Navas, who happens to be one of the best goalkeepers. Kept one or two goal bounds efforts off as well. And of course, we'll just stay on that same group. Spain versus Germany. Germany, I'm still not convinced. Honestly, I'm still not convinced with Hans Flick with his team selections. I Godiga now playing behind Thomas Muller. I thought that could be have been that they could have done better in that department. Maybe playing beside Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka playing behind Thomas Muller would have made more sense to me for that formation. And thankfully for them, Leroy is back. It looks like the Spanish were going to run them ragged at the point they for 109 seconds the ball did not touch the German's leg. It was all Spanish, all Spanish, all Spanish. And the Spanish are they're staying truthful to their style of play, which is tiki-taka, total domination of football. They dominated the Germans, no doubt about it. They possibly on another day with better decision making, they probably would have won the game. Rudiger his goal was rightly ruled out for offside. Close call. Asensio doing what he knows how to do best. Morata coming in to score that goal. Everybody is concerned about Morata. not being the optimal striker that should be leading the line for a team like Spain. But of course, even with the style of play that Spain, the way they play, having a top striker might not be the best. Honestly, having a top striker, someone that is not mobile, might not even be the best. They still need a mobile striker to help them cement the style of play. But overall, the Germans came back, and the substitute got the goal for them. Fruki is the name of the guy. This is his fourth international appearance for Germany, and for me, the guy struck the ball so well, and he ended 1-1. On a scale of 1 to 10, Sheyi, how would you rate the overall play by the Germans and by the Spanish? And do you think this is a fair result?
Yeah, I think the Germans actually played against a different team entirely compared to what they met in their first match. Talking
Against
about
Japan.
match, they totally dominated that game, created a lot of chances, which they unfortunately did not, capitalize
Lights on.
on. And in this particular game, it was limited chances were created. A
Mhm.
lot of battles in the midfield, quite a lot of battles.
Yeah,
And of course, judging by the players facing each other, we are talking of the best in European football when it comes to midfield.
exactly.
We're talking of
Preddy,
yeah, Gondo,
Ojoakim,
yeah,
Gundogan,
Goretzka was also
Oscar. Yeah.
was in that midfield also,
Mm-hmm.
facing Bosque and the likes of Gavi and
Gavi.
Pedro Gonzalez. So it was a serious battle in the midfield, and I think that is actually what limited the chances for both sides. But of course, because these are high quality
Game.
sites,
Huh?
there was still opportunity to create one or two. That actually led to the cancelled goal from Rodiger at that
Rodrigo.
point, which was well ruled out, being an offside. And I still think that Germany should have done better because they knew that without this match, they're actually out of the competition. They were
Exactly.
out of the competition for how many minutes? Maybe like 20 minutes
Uh-huh.
about. So
Yeah. 42
I
minutes.
expected exactly. I expected more from them because I still believe that this Spanish team take out the likes of Jordi Alba and
Philip
Bosque
Busquets.
and maybe
Yeah.
Laporte. They are quite young, and I think the German players are actually more experienced than the Spanish players. I
Yeah.
expected them to be the ones to take the ball to
Dictating.
the Spanish and really, show their intent early enough. Probably be the ones ahead to let the
Yeah.
Spanish try to, come back. But unfortunately, it was the other way
Other way
around.
around.
At the end of the day, I think I'll agree with you that is a fair
Fair
result for
result.
both of them. In the sense that it keeps the group also quite interesting. It keeps the group alive in
Yeah.
terms of Japan now with 3 points,
3 points.
Costa
Costa
Rica
Rica
with
with three
3 points,
points. Spain with four
Spain
points.
with 4 points, and
And Germany
Germany
with
with
one
one
point.
point. Germany there's still an outside chance for Germany to qualify if they win their last match, and
Mm-hmm.
we expect Spain to win their match also. So
Yeah.
it keeps that group in place and also an opportunity to see quality sides in the second round
Second
of the
round.
World Cup.
But do you
So
think? But you think the Germans will come out of this group?
I think they are going to win their last match. What is going to happen between Spain and I think that's Spain and
Costa,
Japan.
Japan. Yeah.
Japan is what will actually determine this group. I think Germany is going to win their last match.
And the Spanish will want to come out all out against the Japanese because
I expect that actually, Debo. I
because they
expect
need
that
to win as well.
they also need to win this group.
Or draw,
They
yeah.
also need to top this
To
group.
to to top the
So
group, they need to win. As a matter
they
of
need
fact,
exactly they need to win without thinking about what goes on
in the other
on the
game,
side of the country. So that's a little bit working well for the Germans, because had it been, it's a situation that the Spanish team does not really need the
the
last match. They are
yeah,
going
the
to
upper stand game, yeah.
play. They are going to rest the so-called experienced players that we're talking about, because
Uh-huh.
I believe those are the guys holding the team. Look at
Mm-hmm.
the fourth game for Spain. Jordi Alba assist.
Yeah.
This particular match again, he gave the assist. So it really shows the way the experienced players are actually holding the Spanish
The
team.
Spanish team.
What was it called? Sergio Busquets is a beast in that midfield. Without him, I think the Spanish team is going to be bullied from front
Exactly.
to the defense.
Mhm.
So imagine resting those two players, maybe Laporte and Morata thereabout. I think the Spanish team will probably pick a draw in the last match and put the German team in a worse situation.
In a worse situation.
Yes. So for me, I think Germany, they have an outside chance. All they need to do is to do their job, get the 3 points, and expect Spain
Spain
to
to
win
do
that.
to do theirs as well. And I think the Spanish will do that anyway. And to the surprise game, another surprise will be the Moroccans versus the Belgians. And I know we've spoken about the Belgians a whole lot. I don't think it's a bad team. People keep saying they are hold. I understand maybe the backline is hold and whatnot. But this is not the kind of result we are expecting from the Belgians. They could do better, but unfortunately for them, they have a tactically deficient coach or gaffer that is tactically deficient. I'm not going to say I know more than him, otherwise I will not be where I am right now. But it looks like I know more than him because he's looking at his team. He can't even place his best men forward, his best team forward. We are looking at a player like Eden Hazard that has not been the same Eden Hazard maybe for the past 2 or 3 years. And he still starts in games like this. What is Torgan Hazard doing playing ahead of Leandro Trossard? These are pertinent questions we need to ask ourselves. Telemans on the bench, basically for what? Playing Tomoti Castagna as the third player at center back in a back three. What sense does that make? These are pertinent questions we need to ask ourselves. And starting Michibo Shuaye ahead of Grace Metin, it's a no. So many things were gotten wrong, and he had the ringing bells or the alarm bells from the first match against Canada that Canada could have easily have won. Canada could have easily have won that game. All Canada needed was just a calm goal scorer, and we probably would have won that game. Emphatically as a matter of fact. So these are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Pertinent questions that we need to throw out there. People are questioning the fact that KDB is not effective. It's only effective when with Man City. To me, that does not make sense. If you are not playing KDB with the right set of people, how do you expect him to bring out anything in any way, form, or fashion? Alex Witzel has been playing as a centre back since the start of the season at Atletico Madrid. Alexi, yeah, Witzel would cement that with whether Toby Alderweireld or Alberto game, you can still play two centre backs, two wing backs. Give the space for the guys in the midfield. Allow Telemans to be able to make those deep lying playmaking role. You can do that. Onana can break play, and you
Yes.
can add KDB to the mix of that, and you unleash three attack against these people: Telemann, Dresmetin, Trossard, and maybe Doku. Unleash it on the Moroccans. I'm pretty sure the Moroccans would not be able to do anything. If it's only when you get the ball that you'll be able to do something. But no disrespect to the Moroccans, and I said it on our space yesterday. When you have someone like Amrabat playing behind Akenzie, Sofan, and of course Yesri up front. That is a major problem for anything on their day if they come to the party. And they came to the party. Ziyech was unplayable. Just
Yes.
it was unplayable. That's just the truth. We saw the
Yeah.
Ziyech that we know. We know the Ziyech that we know that can do those things and do them efficiently, and he did them perfectly well. Sheyi, would you say overall the Moroccans? Because for me, it's no coincidence. For me, I think the Moroccans deserve the victory 100%. But I want to hear your opinion about that.
Yeah, obviously, they definitely deserve their 3 points on the night. And like you said, the handwriting was on the wall from the first match. Belgium played against Ghana, against Canada.
Yeah,
It showed that the set of players they have are quite lethargy. It's showing. I think the age is actually showing in those particular key players. I
okay.
wasn't surprised when I think the pre-match conference
Mm-hmm.
where Kevin De Bruyne also mentioned that 2018 was their best chance at the World Cup. Right now, majority of them are old. It seems they can't really run again. They get tired easily, and of course, the physical presence has
Yeah, as
reduced,
disappeared. Yeah.
has disappeared. Yeah, kind of. So and the problem now it's actually the coach. A sensible coach, if you permit me to use that word, a sensible coach would have seen this over the years and
Mm-hmm.
try as much as possible, to get in a fresh set of players to mix with this experience and super players, because they still have quite a lot of good players. We are talking of the likes of
Yeah.
KDB.
Uh-huh.
But for me, the likes of Hazard are supposed to be game changers. Hazard is not supposed to be a first team player. Even
Exactly.
in his club, he's not a first team player. So the respect you've shown to him is to bring him to the World Cup, not to start him in the first 2 matches. So I think the younger players should have been the key players in this team.
In this
With
team,
the
exactly.
likes, yeah, with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne to just bring that spark, the experience, the spark, they just one touch brilliance that can
Exactly.
create,
I can create
that kind of
those
special
moments.
experience. We've seen Trossard in the Premier League. Come on, the guy is, it's a shame that we have players starting ahead of Trossard. We've seen what that guy can do. There is speed there, there is skill there
Yeah.
is composure.
Yeah,
So
there's technique.
technique.
I will
So
even I would rather start the Trossard as a first nine ahead of Mishubashu.
exactly, because they actually have those type of players. You can play a first nine and let these guys just play around and enter into the box at the time that the ball is going to get inside the box. There's a lot of things he could have done to those players, but he decided to stick with what he has been doing for the last 4 years, and that is actually
That
what
is not
happened
getting
to.
in the results. Kashi, I'm going to come to you next, and I know we can't blame. We obviously can't blame an assistant coach. But I'm looking at Thierry Henry on the bench. I know Henry is an intelligent person, both as a footballer and as an analyst of the game. I know being an analyst of the game doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach, but what kind of impact do you think, telling impact do you think he could have had on someone like Roberto Martinez in terms of tactical change, tactical play, and some sensibility into how the team is being set up? Because
Uh,
obviously this tactics is not working.
Debo, you've asked that question on the assumption that we know exactly what Thierry Henry's role is in that team.
Yeah,
Um, it sounds as if, from everything I've seen, it sounds as if his role is purely advisory with no actual input. Pretty much almost like having a technical director who is not an assistant coach. I don't see him in the mode of Mikel
McLaren
Arteta to Pep,
to Pep.
who
Okay.
we saw that Pep always seemed to have that
Conversation.
discussions with Arteta before he took any decision. That's usually not the vibe I get when I look at the relationship between
Martinez and Henry.
Martinez and Thierry Henry. But that being said, Henry was successful as a player, but in two places that he went to as a coach, in Monaco and also in CF Montreal, he failed there.
It took you guys to the playoff.
He still failed. Forget the fact that he took CF Montreal to the playoff. Montreal should be playing for the MLS Cup, not just to get to the playoff. But that's an aside. But to your question, I don't think he has enough input. And I want to say something that I finally realized, that it is not easy for coaches, national team coaches, to take like bold decisions. I think the last national team head coach I saw take a bold decision was the late Stephen Keshi, who took Joseph Yobo to the AFCON in 2013 and did not start him at all. The only thing Joseph Yobo did was to wear the shirt and lift the trophy when Nigeria won it. It's always very difficult for national team coaches to make bold, unpopular decisions. We're seeing that with Gareth Southgate and Maguire. We're seeing that now with Martinez. We're seeing that even with the Croatian coach. Yes, they got the result against Canada today. What I'm trying to say is that the buck stops at the table of
the head coach.
In tactical formation, changes to make. I think Thierry Henry's coach role is purely advisory, and it doesn't have the kind of input, exactly the kind of input we expect. There's something to be said about the current Belgian team. Right now, in the past, Belgium with 3 or 4 touches would be on the final third of the opponent. Right now, it's taking them close to 12 or 13 touches just to get the ball there. So they are missing speed. I don't know if it's due to the age of the people on the pitch, because I totally agree with what Sheyi has said. Hazard should not be starting. The same way I feel Ronaldo should not be starting. They should be impact subs. They should be impact subs simply because they can wear players out, defenders out in the last 20 minutes of the game. So all this is down to the coaches being afraid to take the bold decisions. It's going to be sad if this is how we get to remember this Belgian golden generation, but it's shaping up to be like that.
Yeah, definitely shaping up to be like that, unless their coach stops it. Like I said, there are a lot of things that you could do. You could tweak the formation, stick to play a 4-3-3 formation. Like I said, Witzel can play as a center back. You don't need him to play in the middle of the pack. You have the Telemans that is probably playing the best football of his life. You have Onana, you have KDB. Those guys will shield KDB perfectly. And you can always unleash Trossard, Doku, and one other person. If Lukaku is fit, play Lukaku. If Lukaku is not fit, play someone like Jess Martin in the middle, and that will seal the job for you. But of course, I'm not a coach, but I wish him the best of luck, honestly, for the Belgian national team. And like I said, off your Egbanla, Kachi, I'm going to stay with you because you are the only one that is always forming oracle and coming with the hot takes for our darling Canadian team. But we scored the first men World Cup goal in our history. Woo! But we ended losing 4-1 against the Croatians. The Croatians were better than us. But Kramich came out to say, thanks to the Canadian coach, he was the one that inspired them with the post-match interview that he gave. That now let's go F up the Croatians. But he came out to apologize. That it was just his sport of the moment. I don't know why Kramich is going on and on about it like a crybaby. Honestly, how we've done ourselves justice. We played well. I think we played well in the first 30 minutes. The same issue that we had against the Belgian. showed again, or should I say, we played again. We could not take our chances. We were devoid of ideas in the final third and stuff like that. But this is how well do you think this is going to boost the Canadian football and our confidence going to the 2026 World Cup and of course the CONCACAF Cup that will be happening in North America pretty soon.
Okay. Canada had, I'll probably say, two major goals and a minor goal at this tournament.
Yeah.
The first major goal was to score the first ever goal in a World Cup, which we have managed to do. The second goal, which is still alive, is to win a game or at least get a point at the FIFA World Cup, which they might end up playing spoiler to Morocco's party.
Morocco.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen because I really need to go and check my crystal ball right now. All my predictions today totally failed woefully.
I was the one that helped you.
Anyone who has used my predictions to go and bet and you bet your house, please don't come to my house. I don't have space for you right now. But to your point, Debo, yes, I believe the Croatians were inspired by what the Canadian coach said. But it also comes down to inexperience. You know, in North America, we are always very blunt. Even when we do post-game interviews, when you watch NBA, NFL, players are allowed to curse, even or swear when they make their interviews. And I think that's the mindset he took to the FIFA World Cup, which obviously is a bigger audience and a lot more conservative rather than the North American media is. The inexperience of the players also showed with the inexperience of the coach. I don't think. Yes, the scoreline was a little bit embarrassing, but I don't think they should be disappointed in their performance. If Canada had taken their opportunity in game one, we would have probably just chalked this up to, okay, you lost to the runners-up of the last World Cup. Fancy your chances in your third game. So they should actually be much more angry than disappointed. Angry because Belgium was there for the taking, and they did not take that opportunity. But all this boils down to experience. When they tell you somebody has 100 caps, it's because he has seen 100 different scenarios that a football match can take, and they know how to act. These players don't have that experience. Even if they do, they only have it in CONCACAF. The FIFA World Cup, for whatever you want to call it, it's a bigger pressure pot, and the pressure told on the players. They should hold their head high. There's still a game to play, even if it's
we should. Why you say they should? We should.
No, the players themselves. I didn't play. No, not the country. The players themselves. I'm not going to. I mean, I told you I probably bought my Canadian jersey. I came here to say Canada was going to spoil Croatia's party because I expected them to. When the goal came in the 68 seconds after the start, I was like, okay, we're ready to party. But they are still babies coming to play in the big boy league. This will be good experience for them, especially as Canada is a joint host of the next World Cup. On a funny note, the Canadian government has also introduced a permanent residency pathway for people who are talented in football. All this is geared towards making sure that the right talents come into Canada, because that's really what they are lacking. Talented players that can help develop, the feel around or the interest of the sports in the country. This is a very small country, you have to understand. So they don't have as many players as you'd expect.
Exactly.
But all this being said, it was a good representation. I mean, they were not beaten 7-0. They got their goal. There's still a point to earn against Morocco, and we can look forward to 2026.
All right, and just an FYI, for you, don't come to Canada and say you want to play football. It's soccer. If you say you want to play football, they'll just go and put you on. They'll give you the headgear and the helmet to go and play football on another pitch. I'm like, what the hell is happening? I want to play football, but it's called soccer in North America. Shay, I think Canada did well as far as I'm concerned. We've been able to show the world what we are capable of, and like I said on one of our space, what we did during the qualifiers that really helped us is we take you up north for our games to minus degree centigrade, and it helped us really. This is not going to happen in this kind of situation, and of course, it's going to backfire when you get to that situation. You're playing against big guys like Luka Modric, you're playing against Kremich, you're playing against Ivan Perisic. The difference in quality will always show. But you'll have to. Okay, I want to see if you agree with me that we did ourselves justice. This is just our second World Cup appearance. It's not like we are a perennial World Cup. We have a perennial we come to the World Cup every time. This is just our second appearance, and I think we did ourselves a word of justice. Do you think we should be proud of ourselves? What we were able to get against Belgium, which is the second ranked country in the world, and of course the second place country at the last World Cup, losing by just 4-1. There's someone in Costa Rica that lost 7-0.
Actually, that statement is quite valid, because I just I'm actually just thinking about that. Belgium and Costa Rica. I think yes,
okay.
Rather, the last World Cup they were actually semi-finalists. They out.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and we can say these two teams actually, the last World Cup, they were probably close to being winners. We just talked about Belgium being that 2020 was the best time for them to win.
For them to have won the World Cup.
With their golden age, with their golden
generation of players.
2018, this same Croatia actually had the Ballon d'Or player in that particular team. He is still one of the best passers in Europe as we speak currently. So I would say Canada just happened to fall into a group of a
bad group.
I'll just say probably a bad group, being a team that is just gracing the World Cup after a lot of
time. Yeah.
Yes.
It's better for us to be in the group of Senegal.
Yeah,
and we play Senegal. At least it's very sure for me that we'll beat Qatar. That one is sure for me. We'll beat Qatar.
But to be sincere, I think I saw some kind of similarities between the American team and the Canadian team. Energetic, young, bright players, just a little bit naive when it comes to some decisions and at a particular point that determines the course of a game. So I think that's what happened to the Canadian team. I see the team as a team that is growing. This will be a good example, a good experience for the team and also for the coaching team also. They are going to learn from this experience, facing quite a lot of... look at the Croatian team. Half of the team is super experienced players in their coach and in the national team. And you have to say Canada have really done, they've come to this competition not as a failure really, even though they've not won any match. But I would say as a team that has come into this competition to learn, to gain experience, and probably excel, maybe get out of the group in the next 4 years.
We will. Don't worry. We will.
As a again, so I think the future is bright.
We'll use our home advantage when you come. You're gonna be here as we're representing Nielsen Center.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, we're going to be together. You, Kachi, Ola, all of us will be in the stadium. Chain, Alele Canadian. Kachi, I'm going to put you on the spotlight now. I know your crystal ball has not been working, but of course you can't dodge this. I need your predictions. All the next couple of games that will be happening tomorrow. the Cameroonians against the Serbians, Brazil against the Switzerlands.
This my beloved Vincent Abubakar. I still don't know whether I should follow you or I should just stay. But on the more serious note, the Serbs were not embarrassed against Brazil. I still feel that if they are taking some of the few, though they were not clear chances they got against Brazil, the story might have been different. What I mean is, if they had scored first against Brazil, maybe this is not what we'll be saying. That being said, the Serbs are still one of the people I expect to come out of this group. And the game against Cameroon will be a redeeming or a redemption game for them. They are more physical, they are better organized than I believe Cameroon is. But that does not mean that Cameroon will roll over and die. They had some good chances against the Swiss, but similar to what has affected almost everything, Canada, the United States, Tunisia, it's just the lack of a clinical, proven striker. You have told me that Eric Choupo-Moting is just a journalist. He's just a journeyman going where he's needed to collect minimum contracts. Vincent Abubakar has not played in the big leagues. I think the biggest club he's played for was FC Porto, if I can remember.
100%.
And he's not even starting. All that, and I'm clearly looking, and I'm cleaning my crystal ball to make sure that I'm seeing really clearly here.
Low budget LeBron is the one starting.
Low budget LeBron. This is why. So we might not even see him since LeBron has come back to the NBA. We might not see him again. But all this is to say, I expect Serbia to win it. Okay. But I also expected Japan to win, and Costa Rica scored with their only shot on target. But I still expect Serbia to win this game. I think the tournament ends officially for Cameroon tomorrow. Okay. For the second game, Brazil will be missing Neymar. But Brazil obviously has a lot in their arsenal going for them. Getting that first 3 points against probably their toughest opponent is good. But let's not underrate the Swiss. In 2010, the Swiss beat Spain, even though Spain ended up winning the tournament. But I think we will see a different side of Brazil that is less reliant on Neymar and probably will allow the ball flow better. Expect Brazil to win this. It probably won't be as physical as the Serbian game. So I expect Vinicius to have some impact. Brazil to win, Serbia to win.
All right, Sheyi, do you agree with Kachi on this one? I needed your own take. For the past, I've been missing you for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So there you go.
I think I will agree with Kachi as regards the Brazil match. I think the Brazilian team, they are on fire. I also believe Neymar's injury is kind of a blessing in disguise for them. And there won't be really a player trying to
shine the rest
others, and they'll probably play better as a team. The first match they were quite aggressive. I want to believe maybe because of the physical presence of the Serbian team. The Serbian team, they have quite a lot of physical players, tall and strong players. So I guess that is why they came with that type of strategy to also show that physicality in their game and aggressiveness. So I expect them to be more creative, more to show a bit of flair in their game against Switzerland. And I believe they will just edge the game. Even though the Swiss, you always know that they are one of the teams that just surprises.
They have
that. But I think the Brazilian team is too strong. That's too strong in this competition. So I agree with Kachi on that. The Cameroon-Serbia game is where I have believe that the Cameroonians might just probably pick a point in the physicality for this game. I think the Cameroonians, they have it, even though they don't have an outstanding player yet. But I think this is the particular game for them to pick Worst case scenario, a draw. I don't think Cameroon is going to lose all their matches in this group. So I think against Serbia, I'll probably go for a draw.
For a draw. Anyways, I will agree with you, and the only reason the only caveat for agreeing with you, if the Serbian coach keeps up with the same formation that he presented the last time, then it's going to be difficult. But if there's a tweak to it, because some things, I don't know why coaches overthink things. Some things are pretty straightforward. Do these things, and the Cameroonians are no match for the Serbians. They have probably one of the best talents in the group, say Brazil. A team that Paris Mitrovic and Valovic and Dusantajic and Misipovic and whatnot in their team. Grujic, they have so many talents in that team to upset anybody. They have Sergi Savic of Lazio in that team as well.
Yeah.
It's just a well-grounded team that can disturb anybody on a day. But if you come back and start playing 3-5-1-1-1, that's where this problem starts for the Serbians. So I hope they get their act together. If they do get their acts together, definitely they're going to be the Cameroonians. But if they don't, except the Cameroonians to get a draw or even a surprise win, like we've seen in this competition so far. Kachi, South Korea versus Ghana, Portugal versus Uruguay. Uruguay they've been disappointing so far in this tournament. Olawale has left Uruguay. They were his dark horses before now. But now he has reneged on his prediction that they are the dark horses. So they are no longer Olawale's dark horses. Do you think they will be able to perform against Portugal? And what do you think Portugal could do a little bit differently in this game? For me, going into the next match, I'll play Joao Cancelo as a left back and I'll play Diogo Dalot as a right back. That's what I'm going to do. And probably unpopular one. No, I will not even drop Cristiano Ronaldo, but I'll play a three prolonged attack. That's what I'm going to do. Not the Damo formation that Santos tried the last time, which for me does not make sense.
Yeah, offensively, yes. I also would go for a three-man attack. I think this is the game that Ronaldo is primed for. If there was any game I expected him to start, it is actually the game against Uruguay, because the Uruguayan defense is as old as Ronaldo is, and of course, in Diego Godin, Ronaldo has someone who he clearly understands, someone he has studied, played against him in 2 Champions League finals, played multiple La Liga games against him. He knows Diego Godin's tendencies, and he can win some area battles against Godin. I also think that I definitely would want to see Ronaldo a bit more central. But I would like a 4-3-3 where Bernardo Silva is right behind Ronaldo and not necessarily Bruno Fernandes. I still don't know how that's going to work. I think that Rafael Leao they need that pace to burn. They need to have that pace immediately the game starts as well, not as an impact. So that for me is where I would make my change. But saying all this, Uruguay also know that this is probably their toughest challenge in the group, with all respect to South Korea and Ghana. And they obviously have a point to prove as well. The question is, do they have, it looks like they want everything to go through Federico Valverde, and that is going to be a problem. If Valverde is the single best creative mind you have right now, it's more of a defensive stalwart than a creative midfielder, in my own opinion. So creativity and service to the attack would be an issue for Uruguay. But I expect them to dig in. I don't think this ends in a win for Portugal. I do think it ends in a draw. It's a hot take, I know. I obviously want Rafael Leao to do well. Everybody also knows I'm a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. I want him to do well also in this tournament. Messi has 2 goals. He needs to get his second goal. I will be happy if it ends in a Portugal win, but I don't see it happen. I think this ends in a draw.
Okay, what about the South Koreans versus the Ghanaians?
I for some reason I can't root against this spirited Ghanaian team I saw. I thought they were lacking something in attack. They're looking for the headlights. But Inaki Williams has to play a lot. It has to be more sacrificial. He kept waiting for the ball to come to him. He wasn't involved in the build-up. That has to change for Ghana. Sorry,
my friend. They should just play Jordan Ayew. Who is Inaki Williams?
Jordan Inaki Williams is better right now. Yes, Jordan Ayew is still doing his thing. I'm just saying right now, Inaki is better. The only issue is Jordan has an understanding of how Africans play their football. Inaki does not. Inaki probably thought he was coming to play a tiki-taka type of football in Ghana, that the ball will find its way to him. The ball must just get to the front. But that's not really how it works. There has to be some sacrifices in you coming deep, just taking the defenders off you. For the South Koreans, they have the first 5 players in the team sheet are all named King. So I don't know which King I want you to say, but I think the first King should go to the 4th King area, and the 4th King should go to the. I'm just joking, but all I'm really trying to say is they are better organized than Ghana is. So Ghana will need to take their chances because they won't have a lot of it. But then also there has to be a little bit of, should I call it a devilish attitude in Son. Son has to say, I want to win this game and take some of these chances rather than play provider role. All that being said, unfortunately, I think the tournament ends for Ghana.
No way.
South Korea to win this.
No way. Kudus is going to come blazing. We are going to start that. I'm against Ghana as a matter of fact before now, but now for Ghana, they are not playing against Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'm for Ghana right now. Kudus is going to play amazingly well. We're going to start Tariq Lamptey as our right back, and that's Inaki Williams. I think he's just maybe if he, I don't know for him. I'll prefer Jordan Ayew anyways for me any day anytime. Kachi already gave his own prediction. South Korea to win, Portugal and Uruguay to play a draw. What about you? Oh, she's nodding in agreement to you, Kachi.
No, not really.
Okay.
I think my predictions are going to go definitely against Kachi's predictions. I'll start with the Ghana game.
Yeah.
I think Ghana stands a chance to win this particular game. Like you said, I'll rather put Andre Ayew on the bench, bring in Jordan Ayew. I think Jordan is much more of even the way he plays for Crystal
Palace. Yeah.
He's much more of a better player playing behind the striker than Andre. Andre seems to have slowed down over the years. Andre still has that fire. You can see the way he plays in Crystal Palace. We'll think better player to play behind Inaki Williams in that particular game. And when needed, then Andre Ayew can come in a particular game. He's more experienced. He's more calm on the ball. He's a player that can come in when Ghana is leading and add to their goals or keep them in check when they need to hold the ball. Get all those hold the ball and get free kicks that will kill the pace of the opponent. And I think that's the way they should use Andre Ayew for me. I think with what they did against Portugal, they are actually primed to take the 3 points in this particular game. The worst case scenario for Ghana in this game is to end. I don't see Ghana losing this particular game.
Nice. That's the spirit. African power.
The other tie, Portugal, Uruguay. I think it's going to be Portugal all the way. And the reason being that Uruguay seem to me like similar to Belgium. They have an aging team that's just, for me, living on past glory. They are just struggling as far as I'm concerned. I know they have a dynamite in their team, Federico.
Okay,
but is he going to do it alone? looking at the Portuguese team, I think the Portugal team and maybe France and Argentina from the start, actually, those are the teams I tip to be the best teams in this competition and will go all the way down. Portugal had a scare because, number one, they have issues. They have to play Ronaldo, which is their number one
problem.
Cost is a cost on them in this competition. I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I still think there's a cost to Portugal in this team. They have a fantastic team in this competition. They play good football if you look at them very well, but it would just be better for them if they have those set of players at the same age to play the football.
To play, yeah.
But unfortunately, Ronaldo is not going to be betrayed by his Portuguese. I don't want to talk about Manchester United. He's not going to be betrayed, and let's just say Ronaldo is going to start this game. But I would prefer him playing ahead of players that are more energetic. Rafael Leão has to get into that game. Bruno Fernandes seems to be the biggest creator in this team. I expect him to continue that. I expect Bernardo Silva to chip in also. And for me, I think it's going to be a 2-0-3-1
win
against Uruguay. Definitely a 2-goal difference in this particular match.
All right, perfect. I don't expect the Portuguese to lose against the Uruguayans or draw against the Uruguayans. But for me, at this point, we've seen that Federico Valverde performs really well for Real Madrid, playing in the prolonged attack. Facundo Pellistri of Manchester United and Facundo Torres as well. These guys should be starting together with Dani Nunes in the prolonged attack. I don't see why Luis Suarez, that is clubless right now, and Cavani, that is not playing very well for Valencia, is in this team. As a matter of fact, they still have to cast this.
How did they make that team?
I don't understand how they made the team. And even if they made the team based on past glories, they should not be anywhere near the first team, like starting games. Because last game, Torres played 66 minutes. Took out Torres to bring in a Cavani. What sense does that make? I don't see any sense in that. Anyways, I wish them best of luck, but because of Valade, I don't wish them best of luck. I want Valade to lose, which is dark cause. Kachi, just before we go, any last word for the fans?
Guys, don't be deceived by the fact that Debo is leading our table. I just had a bad day at the office today. Yes. Stay tuned for another live update when we come to you tomorrow on Twitter. But by then, I expect to be back on top. Thank you so much for supporting us.
All right, perfect. Shay, any last word for the fans before we go today?
Yeah, I think I'll just say everybody should enjoy the World Cup. Forget about all the politics that surrounded the beginning, the start of this World Cup.
Yeah.
Football is winning. Keep on supporting football, and see you next week.
All right, perfect. Shay, I hope I'm going to look for you tomorrow. I want you to be on the Twitter space tomorrow, Shay. Please. I know it's difficult. I know it's not easy, but we'll try to start as early as possible so you could join us, guys. The word is, forget about the politics, focus on football. Football is always going to win. And the message from Kachi is the fact that he will be back tomorrow. And if Kachi is not back by the end of tomorrow,
then I'll quit the show. I'm quitting the show.
I love you so much. You can't quit the show, Kachi. That's not an option. So think of something else. You'll be paying my car insurance for the next 6 months. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will see you again tomorrow on our Twitter space. Have a wonderful sporting week. Bye, guys.